Alright, today we're going to talk about circle graphs. So we're going to start with how do you know how to draw a circle graph. So in the chart there I have my monthly budget, my expenses and the amount for each. So food 200, house 1000, truck 500, spending 300. So a circle graph is like a percent. It's always out of 100. So the first thing you have to do is figure out what the total is for my budget there. So I add 200 plus 1000 would be 1200. Plus 500 would be 1700, plus 300 would be 2000. So my total monthly budget is $2,000. So based on that, I can use the numbers there to find the percent of the circle that each one of those categories will take up. So what you're going to do is put the amount over the total. So I'm going to start with the house. So the house would be 1000 over my total of 2000 equals my percent over 100. And remember that you can use fractions, decimals, or percents. We've been over how to convert those. So if I look at this fraction, all those zeros are just going to cancel each other out. So I'm left with 1/2. Well, half of 100 is 50%. So this is going to equal 1/2, which equals 50%. So half of my circle is going to be taken up by the house. So next, let's look at the truck. So again, put the amount of the truck, 500, over the total of 2000 equals my percent over 100. So 2 zeros are going to cancel there, so I end up with 5/20. I can reduce that by dividing both those by 5 to equal 1/4. And 1/4 as a decimal would be 25/100, which equals 25%. So 50% and 25% of my budget are taken up just by my house payment and my truck payment. So the food and spending, I left those because those are going to be a little bit more work. So we'll start with food. So the food is going to be 200 over 2000, which equals my percent over 100. So here I'm just going to solve it like a percent. So 200 times 100 would be 20,000 equals 2000 P for percent. So now I'm going to divide by 2000. So 3 zeros are going to cancel. So my percent is going to equal 20%. If I wanted to make that a fraction, wait, I didn't do that right. It's not 20%. It's 10%. Because 3 zeros cancel, and then you have 20 divided by 2, which is 10. So percent is 10%. So that as a decimal would be 1/10. So my fraction would equal 1/10. All this white's getting a little confusing, so let's change colors for the last one. So last one would be 300 over 2000 equals my percent over 100. Let's get a little bit more room here. Alright, so 300 times 1000 would be 30,000. And that'd be 2000 P. Divide by 2000. 3 zeros cancel, so 30 divided by 2 would be 15. So I get 15%. If I wanted to make that a decimal, it would be 1500ths, or yeah, 1500ths, which would be our fraction, 1500ths. And you can divide both those by 5 to equal 3/20. So, like I said, those ones are a little bit harder than the first two we did, the house and the truck. But in the end, these should all add up to 100%. So 10 plus 50 is 60. plus 25 would be 85. 85 plus 15 would give me 100. So your percent needs to add up to 100. Your fractions also need to add up to 100. And I'm not going to take the time to add up all those fractions, but they would add up to 1, not 100. Fractions need to add up to 1. Alright, so here I have the circle graph already made. So 5% is white, 15% is yellow, 30% is blue, and 50% is red. And 20 students chose white. So that 5% means that's 20 students. So if I first need to find how many students there are. So I'm going to take that 20%, or 20 students and the 5% and put that into my proportion. So 5 over 100 equals 20 students, because that's my part, over my whole of, let's say, T for total students. So now I've got a proportion we can solve. 20 times 100 is going to be 2,000 equals 5T. Divide by 5. So my total students would equal 5 goes into 24 times with 2 zeros, so 400. So I have a total of 400 students. So now I can take that and find what the total students for each other category is. So I'll start with red. So 50%, we'll use an equation for that. So 50% as a decimal is 0.5 times 400 equals my red students. So 5 times 0 is 0, 0, 5 times 4 is 20, 1 decimal place. So my total for red equals 200 students. And that makes sense. I chose these numbers to show you the math, but I also chose them because it's pretty easy to see 5 times 10 is 50. Well, 20 times 10 is 200. Alright, next 30%. Here we'll do an equation, or the proportion. So we got 30 over 100 equals blue over my total students of 400. So 30 times 400 is going to give me 12,000 equals 100B. So divide by 100. 2 zeros cancel. So blue is 120 students. And then the last one, the yellow. Do that down here. And I'll do an equation on this one. So 15% as a decimal would be 15 hundredths times my 400 total students equals my yellow. Let's work out 400 times 15 hundredths. 0020, 004. Add this up, get 6,000. I got 2 decimal places in my problems. I got 2 in my answer. So y equals 60 students. So our total students should add up to our 400. So I do 60 plus 120 would be 180. 180 plus 200 would be 380. Plus our 20 original students would give us 400. So we know we did that one correct.